Welcome to this very special edition of the Author's Voice with KAJ, a show where we explore the stories behind the stories. Here we dive into the worlds created by authors, discover their inspirations, and ensure that you walk away enriched and inspired. And today we have with us author Marcy Axelrod. She's a best-selling and award-winning author, TV contributor, TEDx speaker, management consultant, and we'll talk about her book, How We Choose to Show Up. It's a bestseller, and it was awarded the Hayakawa Book Prize. And so we'll dive into the story behind the story with Marcy. Welcome to the show, Marcy.
AJ, it's so great to be with you.
Welcome to the show once again, this time on the Author's Voice with KJ Marcy. So we'll talk about your book. But first, before that, very quickly, if you can tell a bit about your journey as an author so that people know who they are listening to.
Oh, absolutely. So my journey as an author and a writer really started when I lost the ability to speak at age 6. And that is also what turned me toward the pursuit of showing up and what that means, because I was unable to show up as I chose. So I started to just devour psychology and neuroscience and evolutionary biology and all sorts of things that explained human behavior and how people show up. And all of that data just screamed, oh my goodness, the world needs this. So I started to write, and word choice had always been extremely important, because when you can't get your words out, if you can get so few out, they have to be precise and clear. So there was so much urgency about the topic, about words, about writing and communicating.
Absolutely. And now let's come down to your book itself. How we choose to show up. This is your book. Here you can see it. It's a nature's playbook for creating a meaningful life and the world we want in that backdrop. So, Marcy, I want to understand. It's a nice cover. You have put that book, choose into brackets and all. So I want to understand firstly the inspiration for this book. Why this book? What inspired this particular book?
Mhm. So when you can't show up as you choose, what happens, at least for me, what happened to me is I started to observe others, right? That self lens, that mirror that we look at that reflects back ourselves. My mirrors started to do this and turn outward and observe. And when I was very young, I saw kids, there was some were bullies and some were scaredy cats and some didn't know what to do. And teachers were doing nothing when they saw unkindness. And what my journey really led me to just not be okay with recognizing people aren't choosing how they show up. They're throwing their show up choices away. And yet there I was, unable to show up as I chose. So that's what led to all the studies, the global research, starting in 1999, I now have 25 years worth of data. That's what led me to the topic of choosing our behavior, choosing how we show up. One other really important story, I was put in a rehabilitation hospital at age 12 to learn to speak. And there I saw these elders, people 70s, 80s, learning to sit and stand, learning to hold a fork and feed themselves. And even they, with years of wisdom and with experts by their side and with these plans, a structured system to teach them of what exercises they need to do, even then, they struggled to show up as they chose. And that's when I said, okay, where's the roadmap? Right? Where's the playbook? Note, this is called Nature's Playbook. Where's the playbook of what it means to truly show up as we choose? And obviously nature had the answer, just like it does for so many of our struggles. But it took 20 years of research for me to put the pieces of the puzzle together.
Absolutely, Marcy. So I want to understand, who is this book for? What is the audience? Is it for everyone? Is it for particular type who do not properly show up, or is it? Help us understand.
Absolutely. So if you want to be a leader, if you want to be a good parent, if you want to be a good friend, if you want to be authentic, right? If you want to be able to look back at your day and say, I did my best, this book is for you. Because the model of how nature designed us to show up is just essential. I mean, I have quotes in the book from educators saying, "Oh my goodness, why wasn't this taught in kindergarten?" Just last June, I had a principal at a high school in Westchester, New York, contact me and say, "Marcy, isn't it all possible? Might you give a book to every graduate at my high school? I want them on their graduation day to walk out with your book." She said, "We taught them everything we could, but now that I've read this, we didn't teach this. And this is so essential. Would you gift every graduate a book?" And I said, "Absolutely." So that's who it's for. It's just anyone who cares enough to do better.
Absolutely. And how and what have you discussed in this book? If you can tell us some details so that people get an idea, okay, this is what I can get into this particular book.
Absolutely. So most people throw around the phrase showing up, but I put a framework on it, right? So we all innately know there are levels of quality in everything, in our behavior, in our thought, in our work, in our workout, everything. So very simply 1, 2, and 3. At each moment, we're at some version of barely there, level 1, of just showing up. That's like phoning it in. You don't give conscious thought. You're in doing mode, which is largely left brain focus. That's just showing up. That's when you kind of look back and you're like, did I even live those moments? Did they have purpose? What's the significance? There's no creativity. There's no feeling that your life was well spent. That's just showing up, level 2. And then there's level 3, which is truly showing up. When you're doing that, you have an awareness of how you're showing up, so you can make a choice. So you aren't just in it, but it's like you're on the mountain looking down and you're saying, wow. So that's the rest of the significance of the moment. And I'm going to choose. There's a lot there because I talk about what brain hemisphere we use. I talk about how the attention is different. It's heartfelt, not mind felt. It's much broader. This AJ, truly showing up, is what enables me right now to feel what you're feeling. And you just shifted. You have now been brought more fully, not just with me, but also for me. So it shifts us from being in to mode or to an idea or a piece of work or an action or a person, and we become with and for. So it reconnects us in our 3 roles. It reconnects us with ourselves. It reconnects us with our situational moment. And it reconnects us with the significance of it, the impact on the more that's out there. I call that society. But it can be a company, a family, a religion, a sports team, right? The more. So it reconnects us with our 3 roles, which everything is in, and it reconnects us with the meaning of the moment. This is all part of what it means to truly show up. Once again, I get into the behavioral aspect, the psychological aspect, the neuroscience, right? Think, feel, act, all of it I explain. So this is deep. This is not just a superficial thing where you can truly show up and just choose. I explain how to do it.
Absolutely. So, is there a particular, paragraph, chapter, any particular thing that you want to draw attention to, Marcy?
Interesting. Yes, I do. So when you don't choose how you show up more often, what 80% of survey respondents across 20 years told me is that they feel they're underperforming. You lay in bed and you think, my God, like again, like I should have known better, right? How did I let this happen? When you truly show up, you're bringing choice. And that's when you lay in bed and you say, you know what? This was a good day. I did my best. And the most recent research about, people who are at the end of their lives, right? There's been something extra that's added. It used to be that people just said, I wish I'd spend less time working. I wish I'd spend more time with my family. Now what's been added is, I wish I'd lived more true to myself, right? More authentically. So instead of doing what society says, you need this house and this car and this outfit and this body shape, no, people are now more focused on saying, what is true to me? How do I need to live my moments? Doing what? For whom? That is something that this book absolutely helps you with. And it's why Mel Robbins wrote the quote on the cover: Marcy reveals the roadmap to live a more purpose-driven life. So yeah, that's something about the book that I think is gonna hopefully resonate with people, because when we aren't true to ourselves and we show up either with this kind of need to be seen as, or I deserve, or I'm better than, or I'm lesser than, or do I deserve to be here? Like, right? That leads us to not be true to ourselves, and understanding how humans are designed to show up totally gets past that, and it lets you live the life you're supposed to live.
Absolutely, Marcy. What was the most challenging part of writing this book? Or was it very easy?
It was pretty easy. Like, the book really wrote itself because it's based on 20 years of research. I also had a book that came out a few years before that won a few awards that validated my style. And what I hear from people is, Marcy, like, it just, the words jump off the page. Like, it just pulls you along because it's written with such passion. It's also, I have a lot of examples, endless examples, right? Joe walks into his 3 p.m. meeting on Tuesdays and here's what happens. Or when you're looking into your child's eyes, or when you're emptying the dishwasher and you're thinking this is meaningless, right? I keep bringing people into the day-to-day experience that they have. And I say, this is how showing up plays out right here, right now. So I make it real.
Absolutely, Marcy. In a nutshell, what is it that you want? What message, what key insights that you want readers of the book to take away?
Absolutely. I want people to recognize every moment, whether you want to or not, you are showing up. It is relentless. And that precious moment, which humans experience, is 3 seconds. And then it's gone. Each moment you have a choice. And if you don't understand the truth about how humans are designed to show up, what the model is, what the framework is, you can't choose to truly show up. It's not just presencing, right? And there's so much more than the be here now, because you need to recognize that you're in 3 roles, just like every tree and every blade of grass and every desk. It's an individual tree, yes, but it's within a situation. Either it's getting sun or it's not. Either it's in pollution or it's not. Either it's being massively stressed right now by wind or it's not. So there's a situation in which we are presencing right now. Like, I'm feeling the intensity of your eyes right now, and it's changing me, and that's changing you. And we are endlessly responding to the moment. So we have a situational role, and it is real. It determines how we're breathing, the chemistry of our body, what we say, what we think, and what we do. And then that goes out into society and changes the world. You are not the same, AJ, now that we've experienced this moment together. So these are really important things for people to take away from the book. And when you understand them, you live differently and you're more likely to live the life that you want. And then we create the society that we all want.
Absolutely, absolutely. There's so much to learn about how to show up nicely, how to truly show up, and all about these
Right.
things. And I'm sure a lot of people would like to connect with you, learn more about you, get hold of this book. What's the
Yes.
best way for them to do so, Marcy?
Yes, and I'm going to send you all these slides. Well, there's just a few images that will make it very simple and very clear. ChooseToShowUp.com is the website. I love hearing from people. Let me know what your biggest show up challenge is, and I will share with you what to do about it. I'd love hearing from people. The book's on Amazon. And I'm not in this for the money, by the way. The ebook is practically free. What I'm looking for is people to understand the truth about showing up.
Absolutely. With this, it's a wrap on this very special edition of The Author's Voice with KAJ. Thank you so much indeed for joining us.